Number 4. Answer true or false. A researcher conducted a hypothesis test to see if students on average spend more than 1 hour per homework assignment. Do you guys spend more than 1 hour per homework assignment in my class?
Yes.
The level of significance alpha selected was 0.05. This means that if on average they do spend exactly 1 hour per assignment, then there's a 5% chance that the erroneous conclusion will be made that students spend on average more than 1 hour per assignment. Ooh, is that right? What's a level? So alpha 0.05. And they said the HO H1. So the researcher, what is the researcher trying to do here? It says if students spend on average more, that's greater, right? So so we're going to say the average is greater than 1 hour, right? More. And remember, the HO is always equals. Remember how HO is always equals, and this is the claim. Remember how we set up hypothesis tests? Remember, the HO is always the equals, and one of those two needs to be the claim. Here's the claim right here. This is the claim, is that they spend more, greater. Remember, the alligator mouth is towards the bigger one. So the average, that weird looking U, it's actually a Greek M. It stands for mean, the mu, but whatever, you can just call it U if you want. That is more, greater, right? The alligator mouth is towards the average. The average is greater. The alligator wants to bite the average. It's bigger than 1. That's what they're saying. That's what they're claiming. So we remember one of these two, either HO or H1, needs to be the claim. Well, it's got to be H1 because HO has to be equals. It's always equals. HO is always equal. So the claim must be H1. Okay, let's get that straight. All right. So what now? Then they're saying we're going to test. We're going to test at alpha equals 0.05. What does that mean? You're going to test at alpha equals 0.05. Well, now it's time for some new information that I really haven't given you too much of before. Let me add, I'm in trouble adding a page here. They updated my iPad and it won't let me do what it used to let me do. All right, so I would like to go back here. Let me just refer back to our notes. How about that? Here's the notes. And here's the last thing in our notes, which we really haven't talked about. Now it's time. Number 5, this is from your exam 3 notes. Make this as big as I can for you. There we go. Copy this over. All right. For some reason, it's not allowing me. Here, I'm going to go back for a minute and try this again. Lecture notes 9.3. Yeah, now it's working fine. I don't know what the problem was. Okay, so let me put in here. There we go. So there's what I'm talking about for so let me go back to this question, or we're on question 4, won't we? Sorry, let me go there to question 4. There we go. All right. So question number 4 again. So question number 4 again. What is question 4 saying again? Here, one more time. I think it might be better if I just do this for you. Let me just grab question 4 so you can see everything. Easily. All right. There it is. There's question 4. And then right below, I'm going to put this. Yeah, great. I was able to get them on the same page. Whoops, I'm having some trouble. All right. There we go. All right, on the same page here, question number 4. So back to what we were talking about. We said again, HO here, this right here, students on average spend more than 1 hour. That's the claim, right? Mu is greater than 1. So the HO is always equals, and right, always equals. The H1 therefore has to be the same as the claim, right? And remember how we set up confidence intervals tests. And so now, what does this all mean? Well, then the alpha level on this one, they're saying is 0.05. Alpha 0.05. What does an alpha level mean? Well, alpha level is the chance of a type 1 error. So now we're going to start talking about error types right there. Type 1 error. What's a type 1 error? So there's 2 mistakes you can make. I don't mean like you make a mistake in your calculations or something. I mean like a court of law makes a mistake. Remember, hypothesis test is like a court of law, right? What can they do? They can accidentally let a criminal go. They could have a guilty person, but the trial goes poorly and they don't present the evidence very well, and the jury lets a criminal go. That's a mistake you can make. Or you can, that would be type 1. Let a criminal go, right? Somebody who's really guilty, let a criminal go, declare them not guilty when they're really guilty. Wait, no, I'm sorry, I've got that backwards. That's type 2. Yeah, so anyway, I won't bore you with the details. Well, maybe I should. Let the guilty go free. That's a type 2 error, actually. Type 1 error is when you take an innocent person, and you the verdict is guilty. So we have 2 different kinds of errors we can make in a court of law, right? We have we call them type 1 and type 2 error. So type 1 error is when we have an innocent person and we declare them guilty. That's terrible, right? You have an innocent person and the verdict comes back guilty. So alpha equals the chance of a type 1 error. Let me put that in here. Alpha is the chance of a type 1 error. That's what it is. I haven't told you that before. I've been keeping it a secret. No, I'm joking around. But alpha is the chance of a type 1 error, which is what? The chance that you're going to reject the null when it was really true. Is that what they're saying here? There's a 5% chance that the erroneous conclusion will be made that students spend on average more, which is H1, right? More, and it's erroneous. So it's the chance that we would accept, they're saying it's the chance that we would accept H1 in error. Is that what type 1 error says? You reject the null, right? Reject the null and accept H1 in error when the null was really true. You reject the null when it was really true. Yes, Exactly. That is so true. True. That's exactly what your alpha level is. That's what alpha 0.05 means. And now we're getting to what, now that you've got the base, don't worry about all this stuff. This is something else. Don't let this confuse you. I wish I could erase it. I can't. Just ignore this stuff. That is what an alpha level means. True. An alpha level means the chance of making a type 1 error. So right over here, whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Right over here, chance of a type 1 error. Try this again. There we go. Chance of a type 1 error is what that means. That's alpha. And what is a type 1 error? You reject the null when it was really true. You accidentally reject the null when it's really true. You accidentally said no thank you to the null. You went with the claim, right? Right? The erroneous conclusion that students spend more. You end up going with this in error. Yes, that's exactly what alpha is. It's the percentage chance that you're going to make a type 1 error. So it's the chance that we're going to declare somebody innocent, take an innocent person and declare them guilty. That's why we make alpha lower and lower in a hypothesis test. That's why we like to make it low, right? Because there's always a chance of a mistake. Whenever you're studying anything, there's a new cancer treatment. You know, you give it to 50 patients, you think it's working better, you get rid of the old treatment, then reality happens 10 years later, you find out it really wasn't better. Those were just a lucky 50 people in the beginning. We made an error, right? So we're trying to use statistics to make important decisions, and we got to watch out for errors on both ends. So that's what alpha is. It's the percentage chance of a type 1 error. Questions I can answer?